My name is Ellen Orchid like the flower, and we're all very happy to be here. Thanks for having us. And I live in Manhattan. Do we have any Manhattanites here? All right. It's just a joy to come up here and see all the fresh air. I'm really not used to breathing air that I can't see. We saw a lot of beautiful homes on our way here. I envy you, your space, your square footage. I live in a studio apartment in Manhattan. Do you know what that is, a studio apartment? It's basically one room. It's an old studio. It needs a paint job, but I can't afford to lose the square footage. I would put in wallpaper, but then I wouldn't be able to turn around. When you're in a studio apartment, there's one thing you can't do. You can't shop at Costco, because you can't buy anything in bulk. If I get a 16-pack of toilet paper, something else has to go. Like the kitchen. I have to have toilet paper faxed to me, one sheet at a time. It's tough, I'll tell you. The kitchen is so small. The stovetop is so small, I can only make appetizers. I have a Murphy bed, you know what that is? It's one of those beds that fold up. I also have a Murphy shower, a Murphy dresser, a Murphy sink. I wanted to get a cat, of course it had to be a short hair. It's very frustrating. It's really put a crimp in my social life. Like, if I want to have a threesome, it's got to be one at a time. Scott, come on in. Steve, wait in the lobby. There's barely room for a one-some. I got on the waiting list for a storage room. As soon as that puppy becomes available, I'm moving right in there. It has more light and a better view. And one of these years, I'm going to move into a mobile home, or as you call it, the elevator. Yeah, it's tough. Before going into the comedy business, I had a different profession. I was a psychiatrist. How do you feel about that? Let it out, don't repress. Let it out. Anybody here in therapy? I am, for many years. I love it, it saved my life. Anybody in therapy but ashamed to admit it? Anyone hearing so many voices, you don't know what I just said. I'll tell you, doing therapy in Manhattan is like selling Band-Aids at the Battle of Gettysburg. It is tough, I tell you, very tough. Every day I would go into work and I would face incredible fear, sadness, rage. That was the staff. The holidays were the absolute worst. I would always get stuck working in the psychiatric emergency room on Christmas Eve. On that one shift alone, I saw 12 hypochondriacs, 11 obsessive compulsives, 10 pyromaniacs, 9 alcoholics, 8 anorexics, 5 crack whores. Let it out, don't repress. We're here, we're sharing. Patient came up to me, he goes, Doc, you gotta help me, I'm invisible. I said, I can't see you now. Another patient had delusions, he goes, I am a prophet, I am a prophet. I said, I'm sorry, this is a nonprofit. I got burnt out, you know, it happens. You've heard of tennis elbow? I got shrink ear. Now, listen, just to assure you, there is nothing funny about mental illness, which is why I have to do this. I have to come out and tell jokes and be with funny people. Mental illness touches everybody's life, right? And it's common. It's very common. 1 in 100 people has schizophrenia. And the other 99 of either. A lot of drugs around. That makes everything worse. I'm talking about street drugs. You've heard of this drug K2? We had a lot of patients coming in whacked out on K2. Terrible drug. Never try this. But it made me wonder, whatever happened to K1? It didn't catch on? It's like the Chanel number 4 of the drug world. Yeah. I even have mental illness in my own family. I have a relative who has multiple personality disorder. Unfortunately, all the personalities are bitches. It's very unfortunate. I got interested in psychiatry by reading Freud. Anybody here ever read Freud? Yeah, if you haven't, just see the movie. Freud was a genius, total genius. He discovered the subconscious. No one else was aware of it. That joke will hit you like a ton of bricks on the way home. Yeah. In Europe, they still honor Sigmund Freud. There's even a Freud Airlines. Did you know this? The plane has 2 sections, guilt and shame. And the seats go all the way back to childhood. Yeah. We just had Mother's Day. Do we have any mothers in the audience today? Good for you. Yes, give yourselves a round of applause. That's the hardest job in the world. Right? And the hours are terrible. How many kids do you have? 3. Good for you. Those of you that are not parents, let me ask you something. What do you do for aggravation? Yeah, I have 2 kids. They're adults now. And I have a 27-year-old daughter and a 25-year-old son. And they're great kids, but raising them was tough. It was tough. I was divorced. I was a single mom.